2024. Happy New Year to you. I don't remember if I've said Happy New Year yet, but Happy New Year to you. I want to share something with you that I experienced. I went for a run this morning, but last night I experienced that the area where we normally run, that the street light isn't working. So by this house, the street light isn't working, so the house, there's darkness. So I have to be out early, to do the school run, etc. So I need to get up and get my stuff together, etc. Do my run, work, whatever. So I knew that today was a running day, and I decided that I was still going to go do my run, even though I woke up later than I wanted to. I was just tired. So I did a less time, but I decided that I looked out the door and I was like, but the light's still not working at this house, right? So I said, you know what, look, I'm gonna still go for my run. I'm gonna be fine. Don't let fear come over you. You're gonna be fine. So I got myself together, etc. And I remember going in the car to get my armband, and I said, Holy Spirit, I just asked that you go before me on this run. Just cover this run, cover my journey on this run. And a big part of it for me was obviously passing that space that it was like total darkness. From where I stood, there was real dark. So I got myself prepared and I started my run, and I ran through this space and I was fine. I knew and I know that the Holy Spirit is with me. But what I discovered was, the couple times I ran through it, what I discovered was there was a perception of danger in the darkness. But there's also the perception I got in the end that there's also light in the darkness. And the reason why I say that is because as I ran through the space, I could see there was light. But from afar, it looks like this is a danger zone. Somebody got to be out there behind a bush or a tire or something, right? At minutes of 5 in the morning. Those things can happen, but the reality of it is that I had a mission and I was going to achieve the mission. I felt as if I didn't feel like today was the day where I heard hear God say to me, don't head out on the road today. Today was a day I knew I had to run. But that perceived darkness initially created a fear. But I said, God, I want you to go before me. Go before me on this journey. And as I ran through, there was light I could see and I felt safe. But I didn't feel safe because I just could see light. I know God was with me. So I discovered from that specific experience today that in perceived darkness there is light. And if we put it within the context of our lives, sometimes as believers, and I know there are some people who might not be believers who might listen to this stuff that I share, but you may feel as if, and I've said this funny enough, that the same morning I said as I was in the shower, I was like, God, I do not want to be there if you're not there. I don't want to go into rooms and do things if you're not there. Like, in my mind, I am thinking, if it looks dark, I am not going in it. So people may speak about spaces where, you shouldn't go there because, you will just, it's kind of like getting into the entertainment industry, and people say you shouldn't do this because you're a believer. And if you do this dark thing is going to happen and you're going to be all these negative things. Trust me, I've heard all of it, or most of it. But as I said that to him in terms of, I realized that my mind was going more towards those things which I kind of grew up hearing, like, if it looked dark, like going in clubs and all that kind of stuff, But then I said, and he reminded me, and then I said, I want you to go before me. So I believe that we are called into spaces that may look or perceive to be dark, but there is light. Just like there are people who we engage with every day, families, people in our family circle, people at work that may perceive dark, and the darkness we might be talking about maybe as it relates to sin, right? People who don't know Jesus Christ. But there's also light, because if that person makes a decision today that they want to turn their life around, there was light in them, right? And I just think that was a big lesson for me, to see that perception of darkness, if we take the time not to go into it by ourselves, but to allow the Spirit of God to go before us and to lead the path and just go where He calls us. But because it is we want to be salt and light to the earth, right? But because of that, it doesn't mean that every single where you need to go. If He has not called you, do not go. We need to be obedient to when God says, because people think, because, oh, now I have the word, I am, I have the Spirit of God, but you have the Spirit of God where to send you. If He has not called you to it, don't go, right? And I knew that this morning I was called to that run. I am so glad I did that run. I was called to that run. I did that run, and I was able to conquer what I thought was a darkness that would have created danger for me. It didn't. It showed me that there was light in it because I was able to see in it. But I was able to see in it because I allowed the Spirit of God to go before me on the journey. So even for people who we might encounter on a daily basis, and that there's people maybe in spaces where they are experiencing dark moments, and their behavior and their disposition may come over as dark to us. There is light. There is light within that individual. But we need to not try to shift the situation in our strength. We need to shift the situation, allowing the Spirit of God to work through us. And Paul speaks about this in 2 Corinthians chapter 2. He speaks about forgiveness, and he speaks about how he wrote to the people of Corinth in terms of how he was angry, but now he decided he needs to speak with them with love. I am not saying here that I got all this together. I don't, because trust me, I have treated people who have been in dark seasons of their life with darkness, because for me their behavior was not lining up, especially if there were Christians or believers, right? Their behavior was not lining up with what I thought or how I thought they should behave. So I didn't treat them with love. Those people, we all have light within us. So I hope that this word today, and I think what I'm going to give it to you just as God said to me, in the perception of darkness there is light. In the perception of darkness there is light. Whoever you are encountering today, whether it's your child, whether it is your mate, whether it's your partner, your husband, your wife, your teacher, your classmates, your co-workers, your pastor, doesn't matter who it is. Know that even though it may seem like perceived darkness, that there is also light in that person. And it's not your job to try to do it by yourself. Ask the Spirit of God to help you to be able to find the words, to be compassionate towards that person, to walk in compassion towards that person or even that specific situation. So I hope that this helps you in some way today. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.